Welcome to the spoiler zone. Or should I say, join us as we journey into the
Spoilerverse?
Take two. Hello. We are a lot of critics, but today we're going to take you somewhere else. Join us as we journey into the spoilerverse. I'm Dave.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Pat.
We're going to talk about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. What might possibly be the best movie of 2018? Maybe? Up there?
It is a very high chance.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's how Patrick and I feel.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the best movie of 2018, but it's up there.
What?
I was very pleasantly surprised. My expectations were blown away. Basically, all I know about Spider-Man is the first, Tobey Maguire movie from the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just my knowledge.
The best
base
Spider-Man.
there.
So basically,
Yeah.
one of the only real Spider-Man. Yeah.
I brought up the Tobey Maguire baseline thing because, I don't know much about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I never felt like I was missing out, and,
Which
I didn't even know there were, little Easter eggs in there. They were so seamless, it didn't seem like, hey,
Honestly,
here's a thing.
These are references that if you get them, you're like, I get that. But if you don't, you're like, that's funny, that's interesting, and that was a cool shot,
Yeah.
you know?
it doesn't treat you like you're an idiot if you don't get it, but if you do, it's like an added bonus. It's like an Easter egg that you're just like, oh, awesome.
I think Miles is lovable. He was so likable and pure, vulnerable, and funny and sweet. Just you're really rooting for him.
I didn't know that Miles Morales was going to be the center of all this. I knew he was going to play a big role, but I was so happy that it centered more on him because I personally think that Miles Morales deserves more screen time.
Yes.
And that's what this movie did. It drove it home, not to the point where it was Miles Morales over everything. Definitely the other characters got their spotlight, but it was perfect in every way.
Yeah, one of the things that I loved the most about it was that he wanted to be Spider-Man. A lot of these hero stories, it's the reluctant hero. It's, no, I don't want this role. No, this is too much responsibility. No, I don't want to do it. And someone else is convincing them to do it. In this case, from the second he was Spider-Man, he's like, teach me, I want to be this, I want to do this, I want to get better, I want to help people. And that was really refreshing because everything in this movie was positive. It was very moving forward. Even the villain, the uncle, was in a way a positive figure.
Encouraging him, yes, which even is that plays on the side of, morality where not everything is good and evil, and which I love. That needs to be in more superhero films, especially.
But to have the uncle in this, when he does find out who Miles is, put him down, it costs him his life, and he still gives Miles that speech about you're the best of us. He never turns on Miles.
Keep it that way, yeah.
He believes in him until his dying breath.
You see so often in movies how bad guys are truly evil and they're faking it, and I saw how much Miles loved his uncle and really looked up to him. So when it's revealed that his uncle was bad, I was like, oh no. But he was still good at heart, and he still loved Miles, and it was really nice.
I mean, Alicia, it was that grabbed my heart and almost ripped it all out. I was like, oh,
because you go back to the moment where he's teaching the hey. He's like, hey. That in any other movie could have been just a throw off, oh, this is a funny joke, haha, whatever.
Yeah.
Nope. First, they tied it into his Gwen encounter, and it shows him Gowanda, his powers, and it's like, oh, okay, we have this awkward encounter. But more importantly, At the end of the film, Miles does the hay move on Kingpin because the family that was taken from him, that's the move that he does, is the shoulder touch, and that's his triumphant.
That's what was taught to him. It's almost like revenge. Like, this is what you get for turning my uncle against me,
and
even though
full circle, and it's done in a way where that's the moment where not only is he getting revenge, not only is he really coming into his own, but I feel like to be a true Spider-Man, you have to beat the villain with a quip, with like a joke, you know? And like,
it's textbook Spider-Man.
It's perfect! It's so perfect for his character! And it has purpose, and it ties back, and it reminds you like, oh yeah, his uncle, and oh yeah, these things that happened. I can't overstress how well made this was, and it's just like, why is it so good? Who knew? How could something about multiple dimensions and spider people be good?
You know, it's something where with the superhero genre oversaturated these days, it's something that didn't deserve to be this good.
Right.
But I'm so glad that it came out to be this well put together. It is near perfectly executed.
You have 3D animation, right? Like Toy Story, Pixar, and all that stuff. And like, wow, that's great. And that's been getting better and better and better over the years. But we're at a point where Pixar, DreamWorks, Illumination, whoever, it's the same. It looks the same. It's nice looking, it's well lit, it's well done, there's a lot of money behind it. But you could take like a character from any of those movies and line them up, and then you wouldn't be able to tell what movie they were from. They have really lost their style and identity because they've just kind of like homogenized into this generic look. Spider-Verse comes in, brings back the style. It harkens back to 2D animation when there were angles in the characters, when there were personalities that were built in. And not only that, the techniques and the things that they did with frame rates and the things that they did with squash and stretch, they took 2D animation techniques and they blended them with 3D animation techniques, and they did things that you would normally do with a flat drawing, and they found a way to do them in a 3D movie and have it be flat and 3D at the same time, and they made it work. They weren't afraid to use smearing. They used like
It looks almost sketchy in places.
Yes.
And like almost like a newsprint.
Yes, they used the halftones. They used sketches overlaid on everything. There were thick lines, thin lines.
It feels like a comic book in the
Yes.
best way possible.
Like a moving illustrated comic book, complete with word bubbles. Actual panels that show up on the screen to show the action, and then
which I love.
inner dialogue that is part of the scene.
May I say, I don't want to cut you off, Dave, because I know you're getting very
I could go on
excited
for like another
at the very least, with those action panels as well, it wasn't overabundant to the point where it was annoying, which I appreciate so much.
Wow.
It was I've used the same adjectives over and over again, but it's tastefully done. It was perfect.
I was like internally screaming for most of the movie because every time they would do something or have a shot where they blended something or just the use of the color for certain things, I'm like, come on!
Color,
what are
you never see like neon stuff. Right.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Here's another thing. So usually when you have something out of focus, it's blurry. They didn't blur things in this movie. They layered it. They double layered it, which is like a rendering technique. They stylized out of focus somehow. They found a way to make that stylized, and it works. They dropped frames because normally you would have like a very smooth frame rate, but they dropped it down lower to give it kind of an old school animation feel when they needed to. They would up it when it was appropriate.
Oh my god, the glitches?
Like, oh yeah, the glitches
in the dimension.
All of that used with just like, it was okay. How about this? Not only did they do this, not only did they create this incredible animation style, but they matched it to every character in the movie. Where you have spider-noire, black and white. You have Spider-Gwen, who always matches the palette of her comic, which is a very, very specific look. You have The anime girl, who when she showed up, I almost jumped out of my seat, climbed over the chairs in front of me, and it's just like, they made her...
Big mech fan.
Yeah. I just like,
and like you said, it was in their style. I didn't even remember that until now, and I'm like, oh yeah. It's very much in their style, so it looks like they came from those universes.
Yep.
Just amazing.
Pig, I forgot his name.
Spider Pig.
Man.
Yep.
I forget. but he
Spider-Ham.
looks so
Spider-Ham.
ludicrous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Peter Porker. Yep. When he's on screen, they flip the angle so it's a side view, so it's like a traditional like Looney Tunes style cartoon, so it's like you'd be seeing him from the side. They animate him in a way that you would animate a 2D character. He morphs, he changes, his body like shapeshifts the way a Looney Tunes character would. With every character, they kept them unique, but also merged in this world, so you never felt like they didn't belong in the movie, but they had such a distinct personality.
Brilliant. And the anime girl, I just loved her like shining eyes.
Yes.
Like, she just looks so anime, but like never out of place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And like, and I keep coming back to like the frame rate. Like, typically in anime, you have a lower frame rate, and they did that with her. Like her facial animations, she has like less lip flaps and less face movements that like look more like an anime character would. And it's just like this. I'm like, how is this happening? How am I watching this movie right now? I mean, good news. This movie made a lot of money, got great reviews. They're going to make more for sure. So that warms my heart.
And the Spider-Verse is a great way to kick it off because that's just built-in like potential for many different stories.
You could go anywhere. You could do anything.
Okay, you can hire Nick Cage again to do a whole spider-noire.
Would she? Can we get into casting at some point? I don't know if we're going to, but
why don't we segue
if you
into,
want to.
Let's talk about the actors, the cast, who all did an incredible job.
Perfect.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
Complaints.
Literally every character fit exact. Nick Cage wasn't too Nick Cagey, but he was like. He was great in the right.
Just right.
Yeah. Perfect in the right moments.
Wait, Patrick, are you implying that Nick Cage can be too Nick Cagey? That someone could have too much Nick Cage? Because I don't understand that concept.
Not at all.
Never know.
Yeah, that's like what? But yeah, Chris Pine as the perfect Spider-Man is like, do you know that?
No.
Yeah, Chris Pine played the blonde perfect Spider-Man that ends up dying early on. And it's like, of course he is, because it's freaking Chris Pine.
Chris Pine.
Yeah, who's like, hey, let's get like the perfect man to do the perfect Spider-Man with his like blonde hair and everything's great.
And then they got the schlubby new girl guy. They got this
Jake Johnson.
Yes. Yep. And like,
way to go, Nick. Way to go.
And again,
Zoe Deschanel voice.
Again, I will say, normally in movies like this, you would have a character who is like a downer or a betrayer or something. No. He was always wanting Miles to do his best, because even when he said, Miles, we're leaving you out of the mission, he gave him that last chance, and he was like, prove to me right now, I know you want this, but this is for your own safety. It wasn't like they lied to him. It wasn't like they did anything behind his back. They gave him that chance. They wanted him to do it. They believed in him. Everything was positive in this.
Also, kind of tying into that, with the storyline, but with the casting, Jake Johnson's character he plays in this, Peter B. Parker, he doesn't want to really do anything, and when he does try to help him, he doesn't really give him the best advice, or be like, oh, you'll learn it on your own, which that happens a lot in real life, or it can. And a lot of mentors in other superhero movies are just like, oh, here, you do it like this, and then the superheroes got it, and we're good. Yep.
Because he was still Spider-Man. He was a flawed Spider-Man, but he still wanted to do the right thing. He was still a hero. It's so refreshing. It's so refreshing to see a movie where everyone is positive. Even the friggin' Kingpin, he just wanted his family back. Like, he didn't want to destroy the world. He didn't want to take over. He wanted his wife and his son back. And that's like the purest motivation for a horrible villain. It's like, you're like, oh man, oh jeez,
that was the other thing too. This movie tackled so many very like serious undertones and serious themes, but it did it in such a way that you could bring your kids to this movie and it would be okay.
Yep.
It teaches them very good lessons
Yep.
and values,
Yeah.
and it does it in the best way possible while also delving into these very deep story arcs that keep anybody interested.
Yeah, it never feels preachy. It does a good job of showing and not telling a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. I was excited about this movie, mainly for one big reason. When it first got teased, when I first found out about it, that was Spider-Gwen. First appearance, woohoo! Edge of Spider-Verse, like from 2014. I've been following her, and I think this is worth a little money. I should probably check and see what this is actually worth. So the device of using comic covers as each character's introduction, when they like say, okay, let's go through this one more time, I'm Spider-Man, and they show the cover.
I thought was hilarious.
It's not just hilarious, not just clever, but like it helps keep things...
Sorry.
Spilling beer on my expensive rare comic. Don't do it, kids.
Here's some wine.
The comic cover that they had in the movie wasn't a real comic cover, but they gave credit to Latour and Rodriguez, who were the two like main people. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to shout out the people who were involved with all the versions of these characters. They didn't have to reference these things. They didn't have to make her look the way she does in this comic, but they did. They went the extra mile. If you've seen this movie but you don't know her and you haven't read her comics, I would highly, highly encourage picking up the graphic novels. They're fantastic, and they have so much style to them, and they're just purple and pink and neon, like all my favorite colors. She was perfect in this movie. Like, they nailed it. Like, the absolutely flawless representation of her. Just
Haley Steinfeld.
her movement, yes, Haley Steinfeld. The voice, the way she acted, the delivery, the confidence that she had.
I thought it was badass, like the whole story arc with how she was actually secretly at the lab the whole time as an intern. That's badass.
Yes. Yep.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, me neither.
It's just, and to go back to the animation, the way that she was animated, the way that she moved like a dancer when she landed.
Very graceful.
Yes. She landed on her toes often. She moved in a way that was very, like, elegant. Just so good. And they didn't have any type of forced romance in this. They kept it with, like, a good
there was
friendship.
No... They ended as friends. They said friends, which, we could get into the next possible adventure with them, but I kind of hope they just stay as friends. But who knows?
Even if it evolves, the fact that they started off as friendship, as respect, there was no awkwardness, there was no weird...
there was, but after that.
It was awkward,
well,
yes.
They started off, too, with
and then they became friends.
Kind to Miles.
Yes!
Like, she didn't even know.
Yes!
She didn't know that.
And that's the only thing. It was like a twist. You thought there was going to be some type of romance, and then, nope, they end up as friends.
Yep.
I was like, perfect. John Mulaney as Spider-Ham, come on. John Mulaney, if you're watching this, I love you. I will die for you. But, I didn't even need to see this movie to know that was a perfect cast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Shameik Moore as Miles Morales. Wow. That was incredible. It was a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he's an extremely convincing, genuine, lovable teen who you root for. And he feels like a kid, and he talks like a kid.
And I mean, even when he's singing, he's like singing along to Sunflower.
Yes. Like,
I was like, that sounds like what a teenage kid would be doing in his bedroom.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't know all the words, he's just joining in on the parts that he knows.
Yeah. And then, his dad walks in or his mom walks in and he's like, whoa.
The awkwardness
it was I've done things like that before. I've had that happen to me where I'm, singing, washing dishes, and, my mom's behind me. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you were there. What'd you guys think of the soundtrack?
I think it underscored the movie perfectly. And it was I'm in my, mid-30s. I'm not, really, hip and with it. Like, it was all stuff I hadn't heard before, but I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
So.
It felt like music that Miles would listen to.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that was in this movie felt like something a actual teen right now would have on their headphones, and it gave it such a like a realistic and modern feel. Not only that, but like the way they tied it in with the orchestral music and the like score, where you'd have beats and rhythms and different things that like pulled from the other music.
It was very Brooklyn. It was
very amazing. Yeah,
it was very New York City.
But then I talked to you about it, and you were like, "Oh yeah, it's these guys and these guys and these guys," and I was like, "I didn't know."
I'm the hip kid that also doesn't know all of these people.
And now the younger guy, educate us, Patrick.
It was amazing. Like, there's so much diversity to it. You know, you have Nicki Minaj on the track with Familia. You have these well-known artists. You have Lil Wayne. You have all this blending in, and it feels very Brooklyn. It feels like just this layering of mixing in some of the newcomers to rap, R&B, hip-hop.
I want more name dropping. There's a guy who's got juice in the name. Who's the juice guy?
Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD. I love that name. Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD had a great hit this summer / fall, and now he comes out with Hyde on this, and you still realize it's him, but for someone who has never heard of Juice WRLD, like I'm sure
neither of us.
No.
Sorry.
It's a perfect introduction to an artist like that.
Yeah.
And you know, Lil Wayne is on it. Lil Wayne had one of the best verses, I think, since Uproar, which you guys probably don't also know. But Lil Wayne came back recently, had a song called Uproar, so it's good to see him back. And it's good to see him back on a track on a movie that is also holds its own. There's Vince Staples, who came out with FM this past year. You have What's Up Danger.
Yes!
Which
so
is by people, I don't know, I didn't even look them up, but Blackway and Black Caviar, who I'm sure are very good up-and-coming artists.
So good.
And I've seen even some of my friends who have seen this movie on Twitter, they've been posting about it, repeating the lyrics, What's Up Danger. I love that song.
Yeah.
But that's not even my favorite. There's Sunflower, which is probably, I would say that's one of the staples of this movie.
Super catchy.
With Post Malone and Sway Lee, who is part of Ray Sermon.
Yeah.
Which, if you've ever heard the Black Beatles.
I know that!
Do you remember the internet challenge where everyone stay still and there's like that song playing?
Yeah, but actually,
That's part of that.
Eardrummers, right?
Eardrummers. Yes, also that.
Look at me, kids. I'm with it.
But Sway Lee is great on that, and that's where Shamik Moore kind of sounds like Sway Lee on that track, is when he's doing that kind of melody, and then he gets into the hook, and then Post Malone comes on. It's such a catchy song, and I found myself this whole week singing and listening to these songs and just getting them stuck in my head.
They used it in the movie as a plot device when he can't unstick.
Yeah,
he hums it to himself because that's how his comfort
relax,
zone.
Yeah.
This was a great introduction to modern music. Like, this is I popped.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't know.
I mean, you even had, there was a Biggie. Biggie was playing when you first meet Uncle Aaron.
And some classic stuff.
Hypnotize was playing. Yep. Like, you have, that's very Brooklyn. That's right up there. It just crosses a lot of boundaries.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal. Take a listen to it.
Yeah. It goes back to the thought and the crafting that went into this, because you could have just gone down the line and picked a bunch of like hot artists, top 40 artists to throw in there. But they really, much like they did with the animation, they took the time to think about it, to think what would these characters actually listen to? Who are some, like, they didn't have to animate it the way they did. They didn't have to include these artists the way that they did. But they knew that doing that would add to the whole of it.
And you know what? I think it kind of resonates with some of the casting choices as well.
Yeah.
You know, you have Miles Morales standing out with Shamik Moore, and he's like more of the standout guy. And then you have, your Jake Johnson and your John Mulaney, who have minor roles. The more well-known people, Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, they have phenomenal songs on here. But the songs that really stood out to me were by lesser-known artists, which is great. It's great to kind of... And I think that's kind of the whole theme of this movie, is having the little guy kind of stand out and rise above.
And that just underscores for me just how much thought was put into like every minuscule little aspect of this movie from the top down. Just it's so tight. Like
yes, yep. You could tell that the people who were making this cared. Like, they really, really cared, and they were putting everything into this, and this movie just bleeds passion. I'm ecstatic that people are going to this, that they're loving it, that they're talking about it, that it's going to get sequels. This is what animation needs. This is breathing life into the animation industry, and it's setting a standard for everyone who follows, including people who make Spider-Man movies.
Really?
This is the bar you have to meet if you're going to make a Spider-Man movie. If you're going to make something that has Spider-Man in it, it has to be this good at least.
It's a very, very high bar.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, like, I was actually pretty hesitant to see this movie because a movie about a bunch of spider people, like, it sounded like the opposite of interesting.
Well, Alicia, you have arachnophobia. I'm sorry to tell you.
That's true, but also I'm just not like a superhero movie fan in general. Like, I like some, but I'm not a big like Marvel girl. My bar was set so low, and I ended up really enjoying it. Like, it's so pure, it's so good.
I'm putting this down. The best Stan Lee cameo. The best Stan Lee cameo.
And
That was
the
fighting
final.
words. He's been in a lot of cameos.
Yeah, he's been in many. This was the best.
Okay.
Fight me in the comments, because if you disagree, you're wrong, because this was the best one. I'm sorry.
What?
No, I'm not sorry. It's the best
He's
one.
not sorry.
Yeah. And I'm so sick of superhero movies. Like, I'm so tired of like just the whole thing, and then this comes in and it's like, oh, I'm not sick of superhero movies. I'm sick of bad superhero movies.
Yeah, we said
Sick
it.
of the
Oh, no! Who knew that you didn't have to be generic and boring and samey? You could actually be refreshing and different and just fresh and new and offers something unique. Here's what I want to see from Sony Animation next. Follow the steps of Laika Studios, the people who made
I
Coraline,
love like a
Kubo.
I was just thinking about them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because everything they do is original. Everything they do is a unique... well, I mean, it's adaptations sometimes, but it's like a unique original story. I want to see this studio taking this technique.
Yes.
Now that they've
Yes.
gotten their money from Spider-Man,
and make something brand new.
and you can say at the
yeah.
top, from the people who brought you Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, this new thing you've never heard of, and people, I hope, will go and let them do it. There were children in the audience, which is the only reason I didn't drop a giant F-bomb when it happened. I did yell out loud when I saw Spider-Man 2099 showing up. Do you know who Spider-Man 2099 is?
I do. I'm a little familiar with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about him, but I know enough.
You have no idea. Yeah, I went with Josh, and Josh was like, who's that? And I was like, that's Spider-Man 2099! He's in this movie! Because they put so many other things in this movie, and then I'm like, what can they possibly do for an after-credit scene? And I'm like, wait. And they show his arm, and I was like, ah! But wait, there's more. They memed it. They got into the meme. They are down with the kids. They know what Reddit's doing. They memed it. They somehow took something that somebody who's in their late 30s is like, I know that reference, and merged it with someone who could be 12 and like, I know that reference. Mashed them together into, I'm gonna say it, the best after credit scene of all time. The best Stan Lee scene. The best after credit scene. What's up, superhero movies, with your cameos and your after credits? You got a lot to answer to now. You got a lot to live up to.
I was less passionate, but I appreciated the meme.
Yeah, it's just like, all right.
You know, I think I'm so used to the Marvel after credits that when that came up and that was it, I was like, really? But then I realized I'm kind of like, that was like a big middle finger to all the after credits things. Like, you waited that long just for that, and it's just like, it's almost like trolling all the after credit scenes. I'm like, you know what? Bravo, Into the Spider-Verse. Like, you did it. You win.
Yes.
I think we made a cocoon of coverage.
We did it.
Tightly wrapped and sealed.
Wait, that's not spiders.
Nope.
In a nice spider web.
Nope. Almost.
I was thinking when they trap their prey.
When they got the
in a web.
It was like, you see what you did? It was
I
close
tried.
enough.
Tried.
It was good enough to wrap up this video and to say, hey!
Fly, web.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. If you like this, give us a like, a subscribe. What did you think? Yeah, comment. Let us know if you disagree. If you disagree.
If you disagree, you're wrong.
I mean, I was gonna say that, but then I was like, I should be polite. But then Patrick's stepping up with the truth.
I'll be the rude one.
Yeah. No. If you have the wrong opinion that there was anything flawed about this movie, let us know, and we'll reply and correct you. But seriously though, thank you for watching. We had a lot of fun doing this, and we will see you next time on A Lot of Critics.
How long do we have to wait? Should we keep
Forever.
waiting?
Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. No, thank you for watching. No. Thank you for watching. No. Thank you for watching. Don't thank me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. You. Thank you for watching. No, thank you for watching. Thank you. No. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching.